and your spiritual evolutionist entering in this Take It to the Top Tuesday. So, as we begin, I honor the presence in you, the presence of the divine one with your divine mind for a divine plan. We got to take this thing to the very top. I'm excited about today as we enter into this moment. It is a awesome time to create. Yes, you are a creative person. You are a God being. You are a light worker. You have a light language. You are the light of the world. Come on now, light up your world. If there is darkness, turn your light on. Because when you sing this song in church, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Okay? Well, this great light of mine, I am going to let it shine. So, as we enter into today, it is so very important that you know who you are, that you know your nationality. Not talking about color. I'm talking about who you are, your inner being, who you are created to be is your nationality, your inheritance, your birthrights. I keep telling you that there is something in the atmosphere that you have not claimed rights to, and you were born to get those rights. So you have got to decide to make a decision to claim your inheritance and your birthrights and walk in your nationality, your kingly being, your queenly being, your royalty. You are a royal priesthood, y'all. Come on now. I have proclaimed that I am royalty. And as I begin to walk in the royalty, I begin to invest into me. See, intimacy, invest into me. And I gain interest. As I invest into me, I gain interest. And so this is your nationality. This is your inheritance. This is your legacy. This is your birthright. And so as we enter in today, let's get excited about all the things that are in the atmosphere for us today. We are going to begin to meditate. I want you to calm down. It's not as bad as you are eyesighting it. But the inside is telling you, you got this. You got this. We just have to settle down, calm down. Instead of reacting, we have to respond. Reacting means you act out of your emotion. Responding means you take the time to take it to your heart mind, then line it up with your head mind, and then you respond. You never have to immediately respond to something. Sometimes you just have to say, like the Terminator we talked about yesterday, I'll be back. Go into your place. It could be your mind, it could be your closet, it could be your meditation room. But take some time before you respond to very important things. Our reacting, our getting upset, our anger has never solved anything. If you've ever been in an argument with someone, the argument never solves it. It is the time that you take after the argument to make a decision that maybe I was wrong, maybe I should forgive. When you calm down, when you're in that fight or flight mode, your brain stops working. It just means this is something I got to do. I got to fight or I got to run. That's your emergency mode. Some of these conversations that we're having is not an emergency mode. It's just we're frustrated and then we're taking out that frustration energy. Remember, everything is energy. We're taking that energy out on the person that's closest to us. Remember, the energy that comes from that person is not that person. So sometimes we must look at the energy first and see what it is that we can do in our atmosphere to reverse that in the atmosphere that we're in. So listen, let's breathe. Let's breathe. I know you've been breathing since you got up. Let's deep breathe. Let's take it from the bottom and then to the top and then send it back to the bottom. Close your eyes if you can. Take a moment. Put your hand over your heart. As you do that, all the thoughts in your head are eliminated immediately. If you are conscious of this, you're not thinking about anything right now. There are no thoughts there. It is just a clear slate or clear canvas. So that's what you want to do in your meditation. You want to clear the canvas, because when you clear the canvas, it allows you to come to a resolution. So let's breathe from our root chakra all the way to the crown chakra. Feel the air going up and feel it coming down. Okay? So let's breathe. Hold it. Allow it to go down. Let's do it again. Breathe in and hold it. Pushing out the toxins. Breathe in and hold it. Now keep your eyes closed and just allow yourself to speak peace into your body. Just take a moment. Calm down. For whatever you have faced this morning, there is a resolution. So feel that energy, igniting the positive energy, just knowing that there's a resolution to your situation, brings peace into your body. It causes the energy in your body. You can feel tingles, or you can feel like a running of a spark through your body. Okay? Breathe one more time. Release. As you begin to release that breath, that air, you begin to feel calmer. Calms you down. You do that automatically. Anytime somebody kind of rubs you the wrong way, you'll say, we do it automatically without even thinking. We take a breath, because a breath is the answer, not you cussing somebody out. And then all the time works. Depends on where your mind is. This is preventive medicine. Meditation is medicine for your soul. And the very thing that you feed the most is what's going to come forth for you. So what are you feeding? Are you feeding the flesh? Or are you feeding the soul and the spirit? And so we want all of that to work together for our good. Yes, in the neighborhood. Okay, today, very excited about this subject, because I really don't think we understand or overstand this very statement. The supply is greater than the demand. Say it to yourself. My supply is greater than the demands that I have on it. So when it says in Philippians 4:19, but my God shall supply, not might probably, shall supply all of your need according to his riches in glory. Riches, glory, needs are supplied. Now, you're going to ask yourself, well, I have a need for a bill to be paid, and my bank account is not saying that it is a sufficient amount to carry that out. Now, what we must understand is that we are creators. Okay? Whatever we need, it's been supplied in the universe, in the atmosphere, in your energy, within you. And so the demand that you have for that, God is either going to give you a few things. He's going to either give you opportunity to obtain the money remember, we have multiple streams of income. And when we talk about income, we're talking about going in the rivers of living water, so you'll never thirst. So we have to take these things out of the literal meaning, take them to the spiritual meaning, because the word becomes flesh and then manifested on the outside. So the multiple streams of income are making the supply greater than the demand. So if you didn't hear the broadcast on multiple streams of incomes, I think I did that on Sunday. You need to go back and listen to that, because the very thing that you think it is not what it is. The first time that we hear multiple streams of income, we think about that thing we call money. I call it currency and find answers. Because it says money is the answer to all things, but it actually should say energy is the answer to all things, because we're all made of energy and everything is made of energy. So it's a power that we have inherited. Get your inheritance, know your legacy, know your nationality, know your birthrights. You have a right, you have a birthright for your supply to be greater than your demand. The reason that we don't see the supply is because we always look at the demand. And when we look at demand, we create a demand, we create a problem for ourselves. We should be looking at the supply, because no matter what comes your way, and I promise you, whether it's through the currency that is made sufficient, or it's through favor, or it's through time, whatever it is, there's a possibility that God could give you favor on this bill, and you talk to the person and you say, I need some allotted time. Okay, and so you cannot be afraid of the demand. For what? You live out of the imagination of God is unlimited. God shall supply your need according to his riches and glory. What? What are we? Well, we've been conditioned that way. I'm not going to ask that question. But we have to go back and scratch out those conditions and begin to walk as a word and manifest it for our flesh. Create. You've been created by the Creator to create. We must allow ourselves to be who we are. But if you have so much conditioned in your life that you've been learned by outside force, whether it's the environment, family, friends, co-workers, employees, government, or whatever, it is an outside force, and it is illusional and it's temporary. I am teaching, or I am offering you an option to go in. As long as we stay in, we'll never be without. And so once we begin to do that, everything that we say we need has already been supplied by the Most High God. It is in the atmosphere. It is like pulling out the blessing. It's like they're all around you. But if you don't know that, then you won't look for it. They're all in your insides, and you have to pull them. You have to manifest them. You have to make them come forth. You have to call them, call those things that are not as if they already were. God did not just get you in today and decide, well, today Michelle's going to need this, this, and this. No, the supply is already greater than I'm demanding for this day. And when we get that mindset, remember, mindset is a most important way of living. If your mindset is in a low frequency, then everything around you, everything you attract will be in a low frequency. Everything you'll always find yourself or your mindset saying that you need. See the difference? Your mindset can say you need it, but when you walk in the word and become flesh, it's already there. It's already been called. It's already been called to this day, that this is the day that Michelle will have a demand, and I shall supply all that need. What? That is good in the neighborhood. When you allow yourself to walk as a word, which is an energy, and depending on what word you're walking in, you can declare and decree your day, because you create your day. You don't let your day create you. You cannot say this was a good day and now it's not a good day unless you declare it, unless you make a decision, unless you will to allow the atmosphere to take you in another direction that you didn't start off with. Do not join that club. Do not join that cult. That's a cult. That low frequency energy that you think you can't, you won't, you never will. If your mindset, woo, woo, see, you got to have a mindset of supply. You got to have a mindset that there's, you know how you feel when there's money or currency in your account, your bank account, and you go to the store and you see this object or thing or outfit or something that you choose to purchase, and you know in your bank account it's sufficient. There's a sufficient supply to be able to answer the call to this situation that you're wanting to invest in. You're like, you don't think about it. You be like, you pull that card out and you just do it. Today, you have to have a mindset that whatever it that is that you're facing today, that you feel that there's a need for, God has already supplied. You know how we used to worry about stuff that never got it paid? It never got the situation, a solution to the situation. It just added more disease to the disease, added more disease to our physical body. We stressed out. We became upset. We started crying. We started adding all of that disease to our body, and it's built up for years and years, and now it is a disease. So your high blood pressure didn't just come from what you eat. It may have had a part in it. But I believe the foundation was some form of stress. If we look at stress as cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, migraine headaches, if we see that as dis-ease in our body, what are we so afraid of? What are we so tense about? What are we so upset about? Why are we not forgiving people? Why God forgave us? Why are we not forgiving? Whatever we sow, that we shall reap. What you make happen for others, God makes happen for you. You've got to walk in the word so that it becomes flesh. You have to walk in your supply so that when the demand comes, you have no needs, you have no stress, you have no reason not to, you have no reason to be upset. You go through this day, you stay in this moment, you stay in this present. If your rent is due on the 15th, there is no need for you to be upset now, because my God shall supply that. Remember, the energy that you send out, that you sow into the atmosphere, you must reap it, because it's a principle. God set a principle. As you sow, you shall reap. We always think it's currency, but as you sow positivity, energy, knowing that your God shall supply, that is sowing. Listen, he says the harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. What? You mean there's a great supply and there's not anyone who's laboring to get that? Laboring means that you're working your mindset. Laboring means that you're working your imagination, your power, your energy. We're not working it. It's a harvest in the atmosphere. But those who go after the harvest are so few. Listen, this right here is going to change your whole mindset. But because you've been conditioned so many years, you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to encourage yourself. You're going to have to know yourself. You're going to have to return back to yourself. You've been lured away from yourself. And there's so much in you that you haven't even accessed. Man, let me tell you, when you allow yourself to be, we talked about that. We're not trying to set yourself up for failure or not to do. We're walking in the words that the great Reverend Ike said, to do, to be, and to have. Those are present moments. Those are present opportunities. Those are present options. If you get up in the morning, before you wash your face and go to the bathroom, as you begin to put your feet on the floor, and you begin to say, my day is filled with what I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, and what I'm going to have. I'm going to create my day. I'm not going to allow my day to create me. I am walking in my present moment. You have to encourage yourself. You have to start out before your feet, usually when your eyes open, because them thoughts going to start already. When your eyes open and you are conscious that you are awake now, and you've come out of your astral projection of dreaming, and then you are conscious now. I'm awake. Here's another opportunity for me to be great. Here's another opportunity for me to create. Here's another opportunity for me to educate. Here's another opportunity for me to motivate. Woo! Yes, sir. We're in there. And the moment that we're in there, nothing by any means shall harm you. Because you put up an aura. You ignite the kundalini, the energy in your spine. And it begins to work inside first, and then it goes on the outside, and you're operating in a bubble that cannot be penetrated. Remember, it says those arrows cannot penetrate you. The arrows are words of people, the atmosphere, the energy. If we stop looking at the outside of the person and go in and look at the inside of the energy, I can detect energy the moment I'm in your presence. Why? Because I'm not looking at what you wear, your lips, your hips, your fingertips. I'm not looking at your hair. I'm not looking at any of that. What I am already investing into is your energy. Because I want to know what energy I'm dealing with. Because I can encourage you. I can change the atmosphere with energy. Stop diving into the energy of other people and pronounce and proclaim your own energy. So when you get up like that, when you do your affirmations, when you do your meditation, when you do your motivation, when you do your inspiration, when you do your education, what? You're walking in a fivefold ministry. What? You can lay hands with that fivefold ministry. What? Education, motivation, inspiration, all of those. We got to go in and we got to be excited about our fivefold ministry. Maybe I'll do something on that. Because you're ministering to yourself. And as you minister to yourself, you're sowing into you, so that means you're going to reap that ministry. You're going to attract and draw. A lot of times we ask ourselves, why am I always attracting this kind of person? Why is this situation out? Because that's what you're sending out. You're sowing something. And it's guaranteed that you're going to reap it back. And so when you change the flow of your energy and what you're sending out into the atmosphere and the universe, into the world, you can't help but it come back, because that's the principle of God. So when we're talking about the supply is greater than the demand, that means your needs have already been met. But if you stress over worrying about it, then you bring in the negative energy of them not being met. Not because they can't be met, because you're not working it. You're not laboring. You're not laboring the harvest. The harvest is plenteous, but the labors for that energy are few, because they've already been conditioned that this can't happen for you. Telling you, this is your space and this is your place to operate in the supply, not the demand. As you do that, you will find and define yourself in a different space and different place. You'll wake up in the morning. Nothing has to happen unless you want it to happen. Nothing great has to happen, but just knowing that you have the authority to walk into the supply and eliminate the demand. Because once you walk into the supply, the demand is gone. There's no demand on it. You've already met the need. God's already met the need. The most high, sufficient one has already did more than enough. Let's stop walking in not enough. I don't have enough food. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough love. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. We practice that because we've been conditioned and we're looking at what's outside of us. And the reason we say we don't have that because we're looking at something outside of us that we think is so great, greater than what's inside of us. And then we have a desire to get what somebody else has. And then we don't know what that person went through to get that. And so now we're in want. And God said, I shall supply all your need. And he said, if I'm your shepherd, you shall not want. So if you're operating in want, you're operating in fear. Because 9 times out of 10, when you say you want something, you fear that you're not going to get it. Oh my goodness. See how the game has been played? See how you have been played in the word game, in the color of the law? See how you've been played, but you have played yourself because you have to study to show yourself approved. Not what somebody else is doing, not what somebody else said, not what somebody else requires of you. Stop playing other people's games because they make the rules. Make the rules for your own game. And you're the only player that has to play. So you can make the rules, you can change the rules. There's no need to cheat because you're a dominion over that land. When we understand that all this harvest, all of this harvest was created for you. And God created it for you to operate in it as you take this journey. This is just a journey you're taking. And remember, we're not here to learn, we're here to remember. Because the only thing you're going to learn on this side is how to forget. Oh my God. But when you repent, return back to your original state and stop sinning, which means stop missing the mark. And I'm talking about stealing, killing, robbing. Yes, those are physical sins that once you get into this mode, that will not be an option for you. But you have to change your mindset about what you're establishing for your life. When you change your mindset, then you set your mind to be, to do, and to have, according to his riches and glory. You're never without. You're never short. What? When you look at the resolution, then you begin to dig deep into the harvest. And then you begin to create anything that's making a demand on your life, even your health. What? If you keep going to the doctor and the doctor keep telling you this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, take dominion. Make changes. First of all, the first change you need to make is stop stressing, because disease creates disease. Am I telling you not to take your medication? No, I am not. I am telling you to meditate. I am telling you to allow the word to become flesh. I am telling you to ignite your energy to a positive realm. I am telling you that the supply is greater than the demand. I am telling you that the harvest is great, but you as a laborer are not taking enough time to harvest that. I am telling you, you have the power to call those things that are not as if they already were. That has nothing to do with your medication. Continue to take your medication. If you've got the faith that the medication is going to heal you, then you do that. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I am just suggesting to you that meditation is medication. And as you medicate yourself from the inside out, being in peace, joy, love, you begin to heal. Our body was created to heal itself. You begin to heal your chakras, your energy points. And you begin to send out some positive energy through your body that your cells can resupply with some joy. Yes, joy. I call joy emotional stability. That no matter what happens, you know that the supply is greater than the demand. That's your joy. That's your peace. That's even your happiness. Because while we're waiting for something on the outside to happen so that we can be happy, you can go in on the inside, find emotional stability, and just be joyful about the whole situation. Why? Because the supply is greater than the demand. Man, I got to go. I got to get out of here because you know what? I'm encouraging myself facing some things, but I'm facing those things knowing that the supply is greater than the demand. Doesn't matter what time period they put on, the supply is greater than the demand. Doesn't matter how much currency is in your account right now, the supply is greater than the demand. Doesn't matter what kind of notice you have, the supply is greater than the demand. When you change your mindset, you set your mind up. When you change your mindset, you set your mind to go forth. Well, I got to cut this off. But this is good in the neighborhood today. Yes, we have reached a place and a space that we can operate in on a daily basis, not just a daily basis, on a moment to moment basis. And as you begin to do that, you begin to live. Remember, we talked about life is living in full energy. As you move forward to that, God begins to give you something that you can live through this journey no matter what comes. Take responsibility for you, because that's all you're required to do, to love. And you got to love yourself first. That's all you owe anybody, is to love them. But you can't love them if you don't love yourself. The supply is greater than the demand. I know it looks like some people out here are unlovable, but the supply is greater than the demand. And while I'm waving this in front of you, please, I ask of you to go in and invest $15 into my new writings, Me, Mental Equation, where I enlighten you and make you conscious of the things that you need to subtract, multiply, add, and divide in your mindset. Remember, your mindset sets your mind. And as you know, we have to have, this whole COVID-19 has been a mind thing. And I can't tell you if it's good or not, but if your mindset, I had it, or they say I had it, but it was a thing where I had to reset my mind. I was more concerned about the thoughts in my mind than I was that what they say the virus that was in my body. But it allowed me 5 days in the hospital to change my mindset. And as I began to change my mindset, then my body agreed and I began to heal. But when that breath, when you can't breathe, you take the life force out of yourself. And I felt myself leaving here. I felt the breath. Just like I feel it when we meditate, I felt the breath just lifting out of my body when I began to call 911. I was at home by myself. My children were in Alabama. When I called 911, I felt the breath leaving. And I knew. But when I heard my brother on the phone praying, he was praying the life back in me. Telling you, it's a mindset. So set your mind, get your mind right. Why you worried about what other people doing? Get your mind right. Why are you looking at TV all the time? Get your mind right, because television is telling you a vision. But you need to write your own story. Okay, so please go to Amazon.com and invest in Me, which is Mental Equation, and allow the revelation. It's not a normal book you have to study. There are no chapters. There are no page numbers. These are just conversations that God and I had. He told me to write every day once I got home from the hospital. And that's all I did. So a lot of it is repetitive, because every time something repeats, it reminds you to remember it. Remember that. Every time something repeats, it reminds you to remember it. Not to learn it, but to remember it by heart. Because once you store it in your heart, out of your heart flows the issues of life. So what are you sowing to your heart? Your heart has an ear, Heart. There's an ear in the middle of your heart that is listening, and that ear is God. Whew. Okay, I'm about to go. I've been here 5 minutes over my time. Well, that's what I say. Okay, well, this is Michelle, and I'm your motivator, spiritual evolutionist. In today's Michelleology Evolution Meditation, listen here. The supply is greater than demand. Remember, you've been created by the Creator to be creative, so start creating your creations and stop duplicating everybody else's and move yourself to a place and a space where the supply is. You better come out of these demand places and move where the supply is. Pack up and move because the supply is so much greater than what life is demanding on you. So in this place and space, may the love, joy, peace, power, and sound-mindedness be your soul food for today. On this Take It to the Top Tuesday, on this terrific Tuesday, on this transformable Tuesday, let's do something we've never done before. For some of us, it's just to know the supply is greater than demand. Please share this. Thank you, HAPS TV, for allowing me this foundation. Please go into HAPS TV, subscribe, and support my broadcast, and it allows me to keep coming back. So if this has been a blessing to you, contact me at moretorock@hotmail.com. Send me an email. Tell me a subject that you want to hear, or just tell me, listen, that supply and demand took me somewhere. Just let me know. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and send a message. Go ahead and just put something in there and say, this right here. This right here. It's a good thing to know. Once you know a thing, you cannot know it. Listen, I'm going out of here, but I'm excited for you because this word is going to become flesh. And as you manifest it, you begin to keep going in, because once you go in, you're never without. Once you know a thing, you cannot know it. And once you know your worth, you never have to prove yourself to nobody. Be blessed and have a prosperous day. Yes, sir.